Viewer discretion is advised.
But will be completely ignored.
Spend time with your family? Sure I do. Good.
Like TV from other dimensions has a somewhat looser feel to it. Yeah, it's got an almost improvisational tone.
What is up, y'all? It is that time of week again. Hope all y'all are doing good. I know it seems a little bit weird that it's just me right now. I haven't really got a chance to talk to Eric today.
Hi, dude. Sorry I'm late.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, God. It's been one hell of a... Is there something wrong with my face? Or is it just me?
Is that the camera, or is there something? Do you have a mirror or something?
Yeah, hang on. Oh, fuck. Did I score twice last? No, no. 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 I was afraid of this. We'll talk about that later. But folks, you know the rap sheet. The Wrestling Asylum's on for another great week. We love you. Make sure you do us a favor. Smash the like, share, subscribe, stay notified. You know the rap sheet. Live here on the OTTR and, of course, our good friends at Hardcore Sports. Never miss an episode and always stay up to date. Also, shout out to the Pod Mob Men Friday night. Great show. If you missed it live, check out the archives. And also yesterday afternoon, led by Lady Char C, Black Hearts Angels. Ladies, always bringing it. And keep up the good work. Don't forget, check out the archives, ladies and gentlemen. But also do us a big favor. Go to the link tree. That's linktree/offthetopropespodcast.com. Like I said, you can find everything you need in terms of merch, in terms of archives, and stay up to date wherever you want to get your YouTube show or your podcast and never miss an episode. But you know what? We also got to do one other thing. It's time to quickly pay the bills before we get underway here. And that would be kicking the coffee habit with W Energy, 10% off OTTR, mob the promo code. And they got some great flavors. You never know, they might roll out new ones. And yes, we are in full effect. Fall is here. It's time for the hoodies, the sweatpants, the sweatshirts, the baseball caps, and soon it'll be winter. DreamAlive.store, Okazi Clothing, and Habits 365, 10 to 15% off with the promo code. And I'll tell you this, you'll look fly during the course of the fall. And spread the word, show them some love. You'll be glad you did. And you never know, you might look fresh and clean at the club while you're at it. Or at the gym, or, cuddling up with your loved one. It is that time of the year. Lift energy too. Great flavors and always a good time. But make sure you go to the Bonfire store. That's bonfire.com/store/off-the-top-ropes-network, where you could get a coffee mug for your morning brew with your favorite show's logo, hoodies, sweatshirts, t-shirts. You know the deal. And you could get it in a variety of colors. Black Hearts Angels, the Pod Mob Men, yours truly. And we also have the old school logos, our new ones. And hey, if you're an OG from day one, you can be looking fresh and clean. And guess what? We got it in green. We got it in black. I'm hoping in red and purple soon. But I digress. But always a good time. But Nick, we had a lot to talk about this week. And to get us underway, lately this partnership with NXT and TNA, or WWE TNA, however you want to look at it, it's been somewhat fruitful, going all the way back to Battleground this summer, where I didn't think hell would freeze over, but it did. But I want to talk about kicking things off with the NXT TNA Showdown, formerly called Invasion. Why you changed the name? What the fuck is wrong with you? But Nick, today I want to get into what's going to happen this week with the showdown, because there are two former TNA originals. Well, not really originals, but as you can see, Ethan Page defends against Mustafa Ali, who finally called his shot this Tuesday for the NXT North American Championship. TNA get more gold. And then in a winner-takes-all, the Hardy Boys, the Legends, the current TNA World Tag Champs, will face NXT's tag team Dark State, winner-take-all. And the question is, where do their loyalties lie? Former big stars Joe Hendry and Jordynne Grace, the Juggernaut, have been left out of the 5-on-5 women's respective Survivor Series-like matches. New NXT champion Ricky Starks picked his team. Trick Williams at his side, Javon Evans, and, well, I forget the fourth guy's name, but we got Kazarian, Santana, and this crew. I got a funny feeling we're going to have an all-out brawl Saturday. Kalani Jordan picked the Inspiration, formerly known as the Iconics, and a monster. But the one thing before we get to the predictions on how this is going to go is Joe Hendry and the Juggernaut Jordynne Grace were left out of the equation. I got to ask you this first, Nick. Picks overall, but more importantly, what could happen with those two?
To be honest with you, brother, man, this, before we even get into it, this shit, it needs to stop. It needs to stop. I was so excited for the NXT TNA crossover, but it's been nothing but just beating down TNA while making their owner watch from a cuck chair the whole time. And every time the TNA gets fucked, they just pan the camera over to him just looking upset. And I'm so fucking tired of it. And it seems like the only thing that TNA has gotten out of this whole deal was just like a Cybertruck. Like, what the fuck? Why is this happening? You're having TNA just get demolished by WWE's developmental, and it's just a bad look overall. And as far as my predictions go, other than maybe the Hardy Boys staying champs, I think TNA is going to be losing most of, if not all of, that pay-per-view. It's going to be like Invasion 2.0.
TNA special Tuesday night.
Yeah, they're going to get the they're going to get the Invasion WCW treatment, and I can see it.
To some degree, I think you're right. For me personally, I would shit if Mustafa Ali got his hands on the North American Championship, because then that could change the entire dynamic. Remember, we had the Kurt Angle scenario in WCW where that happened with the world title. Then you get back the WWF title, but that's beside the point. I do agree, because of the fact that you do have the Hardys against Dark State, and the fact that you just signed the last one. This is the last time. It's the Dudleys against the Hardys. My humble opinion is it has to be the Hardys that win, because what I think will happen at Bound for Glory is, as Bubba alluded to, they want that W back from the tables match years ago. They want to get that one back. I think for the most part you're right. My question is, do you see Jordynne Grace and Joe Hendry getting involved, but for who?
I don't see them leaving TNA.
Well, they're both in WWE. Jordynne Grace signed with NXT, and Joe Hendry is slowly crossing over fully because he's in the opening now, and they're preparing for him to be under WWE contracts.
Then I guess it's kind of blatantly obvious what they're going to be doing then, because I thought Joe Hendry was going to stay with TNA for a while. I don't know about Jordynne Grace.
For a couple of years now.
Say that again?
Joe Hendry's been with them for a couple of years.
Yeah, but I didn't think he would be leaving for NXT or even the main roster. I love Joe Hendry. I don't see him as I just don't see him as full-fledged talent yet. Not saying he doesn't deserve to be someday, but I feel like he still should be developed a little bit. Not saying he's not over.
I do agree.
Like, he's definitely over with the crowd, but he and this is no hate to Joe Hendry whatsoever. I believe in Joe Hendry, but he's still a little green to me.
Green
I
in
feel
what
like
way?
in the in-ring aspect, like a lot of times, like it's believability in general when it comes to wrestling to me. And not that I don't think he's good in the ring, but I feel like there's still some work to be done. But his gimmick in and of itself is gold. And I feel
Right.
like that's what's driving his popularity more than his in-ring work is his gimmick, which is all well and good, but I still feel like he has a little bit more to go before he's even ready for the developmental, let alone the main roster.
Yeah, I think he'll get some time over, but I do agree to an extent. He is still a little bit green, but he's gotten way, way better than he did in recent years. And if you really think about it, and I mean you really do think about this for a minute, it's gotten to the point now where Hendry's got a big following. He played it to his advantage. I think what needs to play out, just my opinion, is let him do what he's doing. We've seen him as a bad guy. We've seen him as a babyface. Let's see where this goes.
I mean, he definitely has a future. There's no doubt about it.
So with the North American title, we know number of years back when Mustafa Ali was still in WWE and then went back to NXT, he was guaranteed a North American title shot and he never got it. Now that he's taking his shot and getting his hands on Ethan Page, do you think that would be the swerve necessary to have fans tuning in going, oh, we were expecting this. They went the other way. Ooh, how's this going to play out?
I think it's more funny, honestly. They're like, we're going to give you the North American Championship. We just didn't tell you which one.
Right.
It is TNA.
Well, we're going to dig into that shortly in the next segment here on the program. But the reason I ask is, Mustafa Ali's talented, character still gray.
I never saw the hype with Mustafa Ali.
I saw the hype in terms of skill in the ring.
Yeah, but it's
you
like
and
Andrade.
You, me, all the fellow wrestling fans out there know this.
You ain't shit.
If you can't back it up on the mic.
I mean,
Yes.
It's like Andrade. Like same exact deal with Andrade. They can be phenomenal in the ring, completely believable when it comes to in-ring action. But other than that, it's like no hate to Andrade or Mustafa Ali. It's just they seem to have the same problem to me of can they go in the ring? Absolutely. Do they draw my attention outside of the ring or even promo work in the ring?
Right.
No.
It comes down to promo. I think when Andrade went the original time to AEW in 2021, he had Vicky Guerrero. Then he was starting to get comfortable on the mic. Then they didn't know what to do with him. He goes back to WWE. Hunter just doesn't know how to use him because of, certain things that are going on. He jumps back to AEW, and now you've got him with the Don Callis family. I don't know where that leads. I think it would be a great help because it's going to put him in a position where he'll have.
Wait a minute. Hold on, because hang
on.
We talked.
I know you want to say something.
Oh no, I have a question because we talk outside of this every once in a while, and that I work a lot. So
right.
Hold on, wait a minute, because I'm not fully wrapped up in every piece of what's going on in wrestling. You're telling me that Andrade left WWE, right? Went to AEW for a while, came back, did nothing for like 2 months, and now he's back at AEW? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, they re-signed him.
No way. No shot.
Don Callis. He's the first one to jump back, and they were able to put him with Don Callis. And I think it's because we have a situation here where we need something for a voice for him. But I think if you play this right, You could
Don
destroy Don
Callis.
Callis from within.
Don Callis. I mean, I guess it could be worse.
Don't remind me.
But wait, no way. I feel so bad for him. I feel genuinely bad for Andrade because he's phenomenal. In the ring, he's phenomenal. But like, I hope to God they don't do that to Miro. I pray they don't do Rusev, whatever. I hope they don't do that to Miro.
I think they're trying to rebuild Miro Rusev up to where he was. It's just going to take a while because of what caused him to leave.
The guy that wasn't willing to take a pin from Hangman Adam Page was willing to take a roll up from Dom Mysterio is crazy.
Or even the shit. We don't know how true some of that is with AEW. We have to wait and see. There could be some backstage shit that we're not aware of. So, I mean, it just depends. I will say this. I have a hunch for the women's Survivor Series like match where you got JC Jane leading the pack with Sol Ruka, Jada Parker, and Lola Vice. We mentioned last week that unfortunately Dana Brooke, Ash by Elegance, had to relinquish and retire from in the ring. We do now know that unfortunately, and this was brought up on Busted Open with Tommy Dreamer, he laid everything to rest to the fans. He said, what you heard is what you heard. You need to live with it. And we'll tell you why. Under HIPAA law, I know a lot of people know what that is. We cannot disclose why she had to retire. That was up to her if she chose. She chose not to, which is understandable. As he put it, it just sucked because now she got a place where she got to really hone in, really learn, really test the waters, and she was just getting that momentum. She just beat JC Jane to take back the Knockouts title to TNA. We were putting right back in the ball game, and then this shit happens, and then they put it on Kalani Jordynne, who currently is a member of the TNA roster, but for those who may not know, she was also Dana Brooke's protege at one time when she was still under the WWE banner. Inspiration, aka the Iconics, Billy Kay, Cassie Lee, aka Peyton Royce. I will be honest, they have hit their stride very, very well. Yeah, they were a pain in the ass and annoying, but look who the booker was. Need I say more? They've gotten way better in terms of in-the-ring chemistry. They've gotten way better in terms of the mic because they're not sounding like nails on a chalkboard. They're actually cutting promo. They're getting to do what the Knockouts division is supposed to be in the first place, which it still is to a degree, even though it went through some, small patches here and there, which normal. I do agree with you. They're going to get the WCW invasion treatment, but I think the way you could swerve it would be have Mustafa Ali win the North American title. You've got to put the NXT titles on the Hardys because here's how I see Bound for Glory playing out because it's for the gold. Have Team 3D shock the world, and then guess what? Hardys get to go back into WWE under the NXT banner and teach a lot more. They get to have some more fun. They get to do that stuff because that's what they're wanting to do. And I've heard them say that plenty of times. As far as the men's Survivor Series, new champ Ricky Saints, congratulations. We got the TNA champ Trick Williams, Miles Bourne, Javon Evans against Santana, Freaky Kazarian, Moose, and Leon Slater. This is going to be a fight. Here's where the X factor for both the men's and the women's. Jordan Grace and Joe Hendry. Big fan favorites. Both brands. if it comes down to it, do we witness a Stone Cold like BS where he at Invasion turned heel a second fucking time and stabbed the WWF in the back? Do we see that, or do they stay true and stay out of it? Because
that would be a bad mistake on Joe Hendry's part.
I agree. What do you see?
That would be a bad mistake on Joe Hendry's part. He's such a beloved face that this would be a terrible time to turn him.
I agree.
What do you say fuck me for?
I feel like he's too good of a babyface at the moment, and he's too white hot as far as like fans go. He couldn't do it. If he did, it would be detrimental to his career. I think so.
I do agree. I think it would backfire tenfold. You are riding too much momentum with that babyface part. You can't. Okay, I'll put it to you like this: we do not have Joe Hendry in the situation yet to force him to turn heel. You're not there.
We also kind of blew past it.
Nick, am I wrong to believe that?
No, you're not wrong, but we kind of blew past the other thing. Everything in life, including wrestling especially, history repeats itself all the time.
Oh, this is true.
And there's a saying, and I believe it's going to be true with the Dudley Boys. Not that I don't like the Dudley Boys. I believe it's going to be true with John Cena. I think it's going to be true with any major star that's going to be retiring soon. You always retire on your back. Usually that's how it goes. So I see the Dudley Boys taking the L because I see the Hardys still wrestling for a little bit. Shouldn't be that long though, but I see a little bit.
Breaking. So we all know a while back after Karrion Kross got released and he had the interview with Ariel Arawani, we are now finding out, and this just broke to me. I just got a message from a friend of mine in the know. It is official. AEW now knows it is not a work. What happened to him was not a work. It was a shoot. There are now preliminary discussion to bring Killer Kross, Scarlett Bordeaux, and Shotzi Blackheart as a group.
That totally wouldn't kill his momentum at all.
Huh?
That totally wouldn't kill his momentum at all.
Nope. It would not.
I think it would.
Said anywhere there's a pay-per-view and TV deal, he's up for it. He has even said there are a couple of guys he's faced in Bloodsport from Japan. He'd like to mix it up with one more time. And all that has been teased were these words. MJF, TikTok. But I don't see that happening right away. I see that months.
I hope not. Later. I pray he doesn't go to AEW.
I don't think he will, but if he does,
it's gonna be another story of Malachi Black all over again.
Not necessarily.
They're gonna bring him in. They're gonna make him look like a killer for like a month, and then they're gonna flounder him on pre-show matches or dark matches or 0 hour. And then inevitably they're going to just phase him out of TV like everyone else.
Well, there is a concept being pitched. And I know we're a little off topic, but this is breaking. There's being an idea floated around that if they bring him in, he leads a team of AEW talent to take down the Death Riders. I don't know. Like I said, this is preliminary news. So we have no confirmations at this time, but there are a lot of talk, a lot of background chatter. So yes, we breaking news. This is breaking because if this is true, we are waiting on full confirmation, but we want to get it out there because we want to let you know something's going on.
I love Kross. I just feel like he's going to be getting less TV time than he did on Raw.
he's getting a lot less. He's not on TV.
That's what I'm saying. He's going to be getting a lot less than when he was on Raw. They're going to bring him back for he's going to be hot for like a month, and then they're going to be like, here's a new toy. Sorry, Carrie, and we're going to need you to sit out this week. And then it's going to be that way for like a month.
Right. Well, a little birdie back home in Buffalo also let me know that while it may not happen this year, the indie promotion in Buffalo is discussing bringing the three of them in for a show or two next year. So the next time I go to visit, if I'm visiting around the time that happens, bitch, my ass is already in line. I've wanted to meet him for well over 10 years, going back to Lucha Underground. That's how badly.
Reluctantly, those We Want Cross chants seem to have died out.
Yeah, because WWE keeps going, but he's been. Yes, it is true. KB is saying officially, MLW, he will be there. But folks, we got to get this other topic here in the program because it's something really important, and I think you know where I'm going with this. I don't know about you. Is it just me, or does it feel like the game has hit a creative wall? I'm going to say this. For the longest time, the old fart off of Temu, porno star off of Wish.com, Vince, had his moments. We all agree there, minus the scandals. You see Hunter, having fun backstage creatively, blah, blah, blah. He's hit his little spurts once in a while. We all get that. Even the one thing where he and CM Punk, when Punk came back, had an in-depth discussion, and Hunter has alluded to it, and they hashed it out because they both feel so strongly about the product, which I respect. But is it just me, or has lately both men's and women's U.S. championships have not been getting defended as often as they should? Yes, I know Friday night Sammy defended against Aleister Black. It was a hell of a fucking match. I loved it. But does it feel like to me that when it comes to certain titles, certain storylines, the game, the CCO, the Chief Content Officer, has hit a brick wall? Because to me, I don't know about you, Nick, and I don't know about the viewers out there, but does it feel like, and WrestlePalooza, that looked like the mutant form of a piece of shit getting flung by a banana and a mutant monkey trying to hump a porno star. Like, what the hell was that?
Fraud. That's a crazy picture, dude.
I had to put it up there because it's begging the question, and the IWC I'm monitoring is saying a lot, because look at what's been happening with the counter programming from AEW.
We give way too much credit. You are giving, you and everyone else in the independent wrestling crowd.
Hang on, just hear me out. All right, I know you got that hunch, but here's what I'm saying. When AEW, every time for the last few months, their pay-per-views are still hitting 100K to 130 or 40,000 buys. That doesn't include whatever they are doing on HBO Max. They are being consistent.
Yeah, except for their 6-year anniversary show that, didn't sell out the top 2 layers.
That did not do as well as it should have, but they're going to go through the ups and downs, and that's why HBO Max, Warner Brothers, D whatever, they're not giving that away, because the higher ups like the program. And the other thing about it is, when you sign a new long-term deal and up the production value, it takes time. Yes, Tony's still going through some growing pains, but here's what I'm going to say. It's going to get better, because at some point, you are now seeing some of the talent that were kind of like, what the fuck, when they tried to suffocate Danielson and Darby last year. I think the story of Garcia joining the Death Riders is to try and shut them down from within. It'll take time. But KB makes a valid point. He's...
Y'all are giving Triple H too much credit and too much flack at the same time. That man has a whole room of that man has a whole room of creative people that he has to also confer with, and then he also has to get the okay from TKO. I will not.
I agree. I agree with that.
And I've shit on Triple H for like the last 3 weeks, so I'm going to take it back a little bit, not entirely. We got to chill with that because I've watched the WWE Unreal. If anything, fuck Pritchard. Honestly,
wait for that.
Oh, shucky ducky. Get him.
The rest of the writing staff, to be honest with you, so I don't think Triple H is out of steam. I think he's just trying to work within the rules of TKO, and TKO's main thing is not about putting out a good product, because let's be real with you, the UFC doesn't know how to put out a good product. Not saying that the fights aren't enjoyable, but they don't know how to structure around the fights to make it more engaging, whereas they just say, all right, here's two people on the mic at each other at a press conference. That's your engagement. They hate each other now. So no, TKO isn't about putting out a good product. They're about making money as fast as possible. And that's what's happening to WWE.
I do agree with you, hence why I think issue with ticket sales are up. They're trying to do that bullshit, and it's going to backfire.
No more family pricing. Why does Bruce still have a job? Seriously? That's KB? Your guess is as good as mine.
That's why he's the MVP. That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT.
KB, if you were here last week or the week before, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Every single wrestling event that I go to that is WWE, I always try, from a Raw to a SmackDown to even at a WrestleMania, I've tried to do a Fire Pritchard chant every time.
It don't go well, does it?
Sometimes people join in, but he's still with the company, so it's not working.
Okay, so here's my aspect on it. All right. And uh-oh. That's not good. He's around. Huh. I never mind. I digress. Let's get composed here for a moment. Okay. Here's my concern. I did watch Unreal. I do agree with you. Yes, he does have to pitch some other things. Here's my problem that I have. Yes, KB is valid. You are valid in terms of Bruce Pritchard. We're going to plead the fifth.
Oh, man. Is Kevin Dunn still there, or is he finally gone?
Oh, no. Bucky Beaver and People Power. They were gone right around the time TKO took control.
God, I love Jim Cornette.
The only thing that would have made this so much better is if certain somebody would have, well, let's just say, for all intents and purposes, got his chance to piss and shit on certain somebody else's grave.
John Laurinaitis?
No. It's Russo's.
Still hate John Laurinaitis, though.
The feeling is mutual for me as well. Fuck People Power and Bruce Pritchard. Please just retire. You sound like a piece of shit.
Uso-mania.
Oh, God.
We better get Punk this year, I swear to Christ.
Oh, don't even get me started on that. But overall, so what you're saying, Nekro, is in reality, just in general, you believe that it isn't necessarily a creative block, but more of a, how do we want to put it?
Easy cash grab.
Yes. I could see that. I could definitely see that.
That's what WrestlePalooza was in my eyes, was just an easy cash grab. It was a last-minute pay-per-view that had no hype around it whatsoever, just to be able to make the ESPN deal happen faster so they can make more money off the general public. And I really hate Nick Khan's whole take on this thing of, oh, they jumped with us to the WWE Network, and then they jumped with us again to Peacock, and they enjoyed the programming on Peacock. It's going to be the same thing. I'm sorry. I don't care for sports for the most part. Wrestling is kind of it. So, no, I'm not going to spend $30 a month so I can enjoy football and hockey. No. Fuck no. Sometimes I would watch the pay-per-view on Peacock, and I'd be like, this wasn't worth $7 a month. So if you're telling, again, we've had this discussion, and I don't want to bring it up again because I don't want to have Blackheart come in and tell us about the VPN. Because trust me, I know. But the fact that they're asking for $30 for a mid pay-per-view is crazy to me.
I hope KB's valid point about Crown Jewel being better than the shit show in Indianapolis
should be
right. The only thing that made me happy with WrestlePalooza was seeing AJ finally get back in the ring. But, folks, it's looking at that time. I want to let y'all take a break, get your brunch, get your libation, whatever.
You get to take a shit.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Take a shit, take a piss, whatever the fuck you want to do.
We had no time for the morning poop today.
Yeah, the morning coffee, constitutional, as Nick so graphically described it. Because when we get back, we just mentioned her. We're going to talk about the career and the return of AJ Lee, Mrs. CM Punk. But it just occurred to me.
Phil Brooks?
No, Mrs. Phil Brooks.
Yeah.
It just occurred to me, since we're going to mention AJ Lee now, next week on the program, I think I know the Analyze This segment's topic. I'll allude to that at the closing moments of the show. But, folks, take your morning constitutional, whatever. We'll be back after the break. You're not going to want to miss this.
Greetings! It is I, the technical alchemist, David Mercury, and I'm bringing a special message to you. Listen in to OTTR, Off the Top Rope Broadcast. Yeah.
Hey, yo, this is your friendly neighborhood Red Dogs here, eating pizza. No, not from Pizza Hut, not from, any other place. From Luigi's. That's the place that we going to. That's the place we eating at. See, the camera's not even on me no more. So, as your friendly neighborhood Red Dog and your favorite mercenary, I approve of that pizza.
Give me a big tweet because your boy, the Cardinal Nick Thompson, soars to Wynn, Massachusetts for Supernova Wrestling's Halloween Chaos event on October 24th. And there's only one word to describe how I'm feeling about this opportunity, and that is thankful. Thankful to be stepping in a Supernova Wrestling ring for the second time in my career, and thankful to be making my Massachusetts debut across my whole entire wrestling career. And on October 24th, I participate in the Deadly 7 match. 4 wrestlers start the match for 5 minutes. And in those 5 minutes, anybody can be eliminated. But once 5 minutes is up, entry number 5 comes in. And then every 90 seconds, entries number 6 and 7 enter the match. And this is where it gets tricky. After everybody's in the match, the first pinfall wins the match. And this is great. This is right up the Cardinals' alley because I'm trying to make a statement. And I think I did a pretty good job when I made my debut back in March. But there's no better way than to do it on one of the biggest stages for Supernova Wrestling, and that is Halloween Chaos. And on October 24th, I plan on bringing that big tweet energy. And it doesn't matter who is in the match with me, because I'm bringing my A game, and that is big tweet energy. Tweet!
And we are back from the break. I hope everybody, took their libation, weren't inconstitutional, didn't fall in.
Mistimed that.
Huh? Uh-oh. Folks, we have we need a moment. Nekro is experiencing some difficulties, so we're going to give him a minute. Hold that thought.
Hello?
And it looks like we are back. Nick, I knew you were experiencing some technical issues. But,
Sorry, I got shitty internet.
Yeah, it happens. But folks, we're going to dive in to the career and the return. Somebody very recently. She's from Jersey.
Yeah.
She'll shank a hoe. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Mrs. CM Punk, AJ Lee. Let's get underway, shall we? So, being a fan of pro wrestling, AJ Lee out of Jersey, she's the little girl who in 2001 at WrestleMania 17 cried when she met Lita, for those of you who don't know. Early in her career, she at one time also dated Mr. Jay Lethal, who was also her trainer. By 2009, however, after being in the Indies, she decided to take the big swing for the fences and join WWE. She would eventually be part of the rebirth of FCW out of Florida, which would then become NXT. She would, in 2010, in September of that year, she would become part of the season 3 NXT show with the women. She began to have Primo as her pro, and she became a babyface doing it. She even kissed him in the finale. She ended up getting 3rd place, but was on the main roster in May of 2011. We all remember Caitlyn. They, along with Natalia being their mentor, known as the Chick Busters, they'd go on to feud with Rosa Menendez, Alicia Fox, Tamina Snuka. Eventually, in 2011, she did the infamous storyline where she had a romantic relationship with Bryan Danielson, the infamous kiss, and then Sheamus booted him in the face, losing the title in 18 seconds. Then she went on the Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs journey, where she would eventually become both on screen and off screen romantically involved with one CM Punk. At one point in 2012, she also was the love interest of one Dolph Ziggler, and also had her sternum broken by one Biggie Langston, who she recently finally gave the receipt after WrestlePalooza, which I thought was fucking funny as hell.
Get him.
She would go on to win the Divas Championship more than once in 2013 and 2014, as I like to call it, the tramp stamp belt, but I digress. And she would go on during her time holding the belt to cut an infamous promo on the women who were a part of Total Divas. Basically, she was the female version of the infamous pipe bomb in Las Vegas, dropped by her future husband, CM Punk. She would also help bring Paige into the main roster with Saraya, a.k.a. Paige, pinning her the night after WrestleMania 30 for the Divas Championship, only to lose it months later back to her. AJ Lee would go on to lose the championship shortly thereafter. But here's the other thing. She would lose it to Nikki Bella. Eventually, she would have to, unfortunately, after a 6-woman tag in 2015, have to step away after WrestleMania 31 due to issues with her spine. And she agreed that she had fulfilled everything she needed to do in the ring. However, she was part of the infamous controversy after her husband-to-be, now husband CM Punk, walked out earlier the year before and was fired on his wedding day. 6 years away, she became part of WOW as its executive producer and also helped with creative. But, over a few weeks ago, after a lot of taunting by Becky Lynch, the Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs lady showed up to back her hubby. He looked like she hadn't missed a step at WrestlePalooza. Blech, what a fucking joke. That spits in the face of ECW, but I digress. And now, with her being off TV for a little while, it isn't anything negative. I think it works because I think she got the same idea her husband got. It's creative has to make sense. It's build that this is a big star, anticipation. You get what I'm saying. It's just like what they're doing with CM Punk. So I think that's helpful as well. Overall, she had some key moments. The infamous promo where she ripped the Total Divas cast a new asshole, put her in a whole different light. I think without her, Giggity. Yes, they are. Crazy is her superpower. Go read her book. I've read it. It's a great read. I will say this. Her holding the Divas title, aka the tramp stamp belt, I digress. I think she underestimated how big of an influence she'd have on the division. And now that she's back, part of her is looking and going, shit. Now I get to take a swing at some new goals. So we're going to see. Overall, for me, I loved the night she finally pinned Caitlyn, won the Divas Championship. I think she's smart in the ring. She has that speed. Yes, there's times where everybody's going to screw the pooch. It's normal. It happens. My one thing for AJ Lee, though, is you cannot deny that without her, she's I think, and everybody in the chat can agree, disagree. Nick, you can agree or disagree. She's the catalyst for when the women finally said, okay, we want more time, give us a shot. And then the infamous tweet off of Walt Disney off of Temu said, stay tuned, I'm here, I hear you. And off to the races we went.
As much as I hate Charlotte, I'm a D1 Charlotte hater. I give that more to like the Four Horsewomen, to be honest.
No, she was just the spark. I think the Four Horsewomen were the inferno that caused it. It was the Four Horsewomen. It was Paige. It was Emma. It was Natalia. It was a lot of people.
Why are you just naming mid? Why are you just naming mid after mid?
I'm not just naming mid. There were a lot of women. It takes a whole
Paige,
roster.
Emma, Natalia. Next, you're gonna say like Ava Marie. I'm just gonna.
Oh fuck no! That chick's.
And then I'm just gonna leave the chat and this whole show.
We're gonna go off the rails. No, Nick, I'm not going mid. What I'm saying is a lot of the women wanted more airtime, and those were some of the women involved. Whether they were good or not, they were involved, and you have to be able to acknowledge that. If you don't,
if they were involved, sure, I guess.
They were involved.
Bare minimum, sure.
Yes, you can have that opinion. You have to acknowledge that there were names involved that if you did not have them, and KB's not wrong on this.
I mean, they also some of those names that you mentioned though brought a lot of bad publicity, bad shame to the women's division. If you ask me, if we're gonna talk about the nutting on the belt and then Natty's fart gimmick.
Hang on, if you want to go there, do we have to bring back the topic we brought up a couple of weeks ago?
Maybe. Which one?
You know which one.
Which one? Say it with your chest.
Chris Benoit? Do you
what
really want to go down that path? Let alone China?
What about him?
You want to go down those paths with this one?
What does that have to do with anything?
You're wanting to talk about controversy and negative publicity. We can talk that if you want to go.
Yeah, but you're talking about the women's division being put on a pedestal, and I'm telling you that some of those women don't deserve as much praise as others. And the fact, that the fact that I'm giving praise to Charlotte Flair means something.
I don't disagree with you. Here's what I'm saying to you: is you can't say this or that and not acknowledge that even if they were minimal. They were used to get a lot of people's attention. KB does make a valid point.
KB, I love you to death.
Mariah and AJ.
KB, I love you to death, but I will die before I ever give any sort of props to Saraya. All right?
Okay. If you don't have that, if you don't have AJ ripping the Total Divas cast, that was, I think, the light.
Oh no, I'm giving AJ her flowers.
No, I agree. I'm saying AJ.
Everyone else.
Oh, I get that. But what I'm saying is, without AJ or Paige being the one on the NXT roster going, the main roster's coming here. What the fuck?
I'm an alternate. It's crazy. I'm an alternative dude. Like I am an alt person, but I could
No, I
never
get
fucking
that.
stand. I just couldn't fucking. Maybe it's because it's also my ex-girlfriend's name, but fucking, I hate Paige. I hate Soraya. I find her boring. I find her gimmick boring. I found her in the ring boring. I never wanted her to get hurt. To be clear, I'm not one of those people that ever thinks
No,
that the wrestler can be hurt.
I get it.
But I find her so boring. Oh, and then like I will never be able to shake the image of just the nut on the the women's championship.
What?
Oh, you know exactly what. Everyone has seen that video. The fuck.
Which video is that, sir?
What was it? Brad Maddox. Which one of those motherfuckers? It was her with the women's championship and just nut all over it. So like, that's what I think of when I think of her. And unfortunately, I'm not the kind of person that thinks she should drag up her past, but that shit ruined her image to me. That's why I will not give her any props when it comes to elevating the women's division, because as far as I'm concerned, she made the already objectified women's division even more objectified. So fuck that.
But so if you want to go that route, then we have to talk about China again. Do you really want to
She
go
wasn't with the company.
Doesn't matter.
China wasn't with the company.
Matter, Nick.
She needed to live. She needed to live. Paige didn't need that to pay her bills. And I will stand on that mountain.
If Paige did it before then, that's a whole different story. And
She did it during. She had the belt in the videos. China, as far as I'm concerned, I've never watched China get railed while having a fucking intercontinental championship across her titties. No, I'm sorry. And also, China needed to do that to live.
I'm like, what did he say fuck me for?
Paige didn't need to do that. Nana. China needed to do that to live, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and
That's crazy.
we're also not going to ignore X-Pac. Also, we've gone way off the rails because there was a point that I wanted to make earlier that was going to somehow mix together the topic we were talking about before the commercial to now.
With creative and Triple H stymied.
Yes, I don't think Triple H is creatively bankrupt, but I do feel like he's following the easy money, and he knows that WWE is doing so well right now that he doesn't need to put in effort. People are going to buy the tickets. People are going to buy the shirts. John Cena's going away. It doesn't matter how shit, when we've talked about this, it doesn't matter how shit they book his shit. They know that people are going to buy it. And it all comes down to the AJ thing too. From as far as I'm concerned, I don't even think they had AJ really like on their mind. But then they heard how much the fans wanted, and they're like, we can afford it. We can afford it. Fuck it.
Right.
So that's what I think that was.
Ooh. KB calling a shot. Wow.
Yes. Exactly. I couldn't have said it better. I could not have said it better myself. And he can.
Hang on. This just broke, and I am now just getting this. I think you're going to laugh at it.
Oh, God.
So Dave Meltzer has been running his mouth, as we all know, the mutant form of Vince Russo and the mutant child of Kevin Dunn.
I'm ready. I'm so ready.
Okay. Andrade finally had enough, and early this morning said this on X and basically ripped him a new one. Says Dave Meltzer, you talk too much shit without proof, sir. And I'll only tell you one thing. When my original contract ended with AEW, I personally went man to man to thank Tony Khan for the opportunity. And that is all I'll tell you. If I wanted to talk more, I would show you things that you've been wrong about and many things that you have lied about. But you just keep killing the business. And then he went, lo le deseo lo mejor. Calling him basically a piece of shit man. So, folks, When you've got El Idolo telling you in the IWC that a lot of Meltzer's stuff is bullshit, I would suggest you all take notice. But that's just me.
Why are we taking notice now? We should have taken notice for the last 25 to 30 years of people saying Dave Meltzer's a fucking shill.
Well, that's because a lot of us knew this by then, but I'm talking about the younger generation that like to live and die by his bullshit.
Wait a minute. The younger generation listens to Dave Meltzer?
Apparently.
What
They
the
actually
fuck?
believe some of the bullshit he has spewed.
I don't think I've ever met honestly, I don't think I've ever met a person that genuinely appreciates, and they really shouldn't, appreciates Dave Meltzer and his opinions. And if I ever did, I don't know how to navigate that level of stupid. Like, I don't know how to. At that point, you should just tell them you have a beachfront property in Oklahoma for them.
Beachfront property.
Just saying. Dave Meltzer's a clown from Ryan. Yes.
Yes, Ryan, absolutely he is a clown. And we have said this many times. I have even roasted this bastard. I will say this for what it is. Dave Meltzer has been so exposed. It's not even funny. And, you know, this actually brings a valid point. Before we go into the closing segment of the day, overall thoughts about AJ Lee's career. Good, okay, mediocre, glad to see her back. You know, would she be still beloved even if she wasn't married to who she's married to? Overall, go.
I'm glad to see she's back, but I'd be excuse me. I'd be lying to you if I told you I was like a huge AJ Lee fan back in the day, because I definitely just didn't care. What era was that? Yeah, no, I was definitely not paying attention to the women's division. That was still Divas era, so like that was reluctant to say, especially, you know what? I know we weren't going to do it this week, but it's funny to bring it up. Essentially during the Divas era, for the most part, those matches for that belt, or just even in that era in general for women's wrestling, they were kind of the automatic piss match. Now it's not so much, but I know like I've been giving a lot of women's matches piss matches, but that's honestly been more of a booking thing than it has been like for a talent thing. But back in those days, back in that era, those were like the slotted, like set in stone piss matches. So AJ Lee, unfortunately, to me, fell into that category. Do I think her career isn't great? No, I think she has a Hall of Fame worthy career, honestly, and I wouldn't be surprised seeing her go in there probably the same year that Phillip Brooks does. But I never cared at the time.
I get it. For me personally, I do agree. She has had success. There's no doubt about it. In closing, influential. She still looks good after all these years. We're going to see how she does this time around. Could she be a women's champion again, a WWE women's champion? Could she win the women's Intercontinental Championship? You know, she teased that shit with Becky Lynch. Maybe she goes after Julia. I don't know. Time will tell. But she's got a plethora to work with. My only wish is she got a chance to wrestle both Cora Jade, and maybe she'll get a shot at Roxanne Perez. Time will tell. We'll see where creative goes with this. But you know what? Before we get out of here, I got to tell y'all something. There's some shit on my mind. So on this week, you want to know what really grinds my gears? what really grinds my gears is when you have a chance, a shot to honor a storyline that was shitted on by the old fart off of Wish.com, the porno star of Timu, you know who I'm talking about, and you don't just change the name. You don't involve the one piece of talent, not just saying Joe Hendry, but the one piece of star talent that made that happen a couple of years ago. Now, yes, the legend of Mickie James, yes, she's retired. She's going to the TNA Hall of Fame. She kind of sparked it when she showed up in the Royal Rumble, 3-4 years ago. But the one that really, you don't involve Jordynne Grace? What?
You ain't shit.
You're really just fucking the fans in the ass with no lube. Another thing that grinds my gears is you're ripping and you're shredding generational fans that got you to where you are now. TKO likes to sit here and say we want to make as much money as possible, but that's like, you at Arby's saying we have the meats when you eat one Arby's sandwich and 5 minutes later you're shitting 15 pounds out because you got massive issues of diarrhea. What really grinds my gears is the fact that you've hit a creative roadblock. Not in the most hardcore sense, but it's like you're in the old bubble and you just won't fire the one motherfucker that's still dicking in your ass and send him on his way. No, I'm not talking about the free bird. I'm talking about, oh, I do. I love you. Brother love, give it the fuck up. You had your time. Go retire. Go enjoy being with your wife. Get the fuck out. You've lost a step or two. Yes, you gave us Mania 40. You helped facilitate Cody's return and all the other bullshit. I have no issue with that. You want to know what my bullshit is? Simple. You have lost it.
Oh, yeah.
You have gone cuckoo, catch it. And you want to know what really pisses me off the most? Is the fact that I watched Unreal again. Paul, you let them talk you out of the one logical explanation. You could have used the concept of Heyman turning on Punk and Roman after the match, but you let them talk you out of it for the finish. Where's your huevos? I don't give a fuck if you had to answer to TKO. You could have sat there, put your fucking foot down and said, no, this is the fucking way I see it. This is the way we're going to go. If you don't like it, call Dwayne, have him and I have a conversation. Could have done it that way. You want to go down that route? By all means, fuck it. But, Hunter, that was...
They are trash. Horrible.
And this constant continuance. Yes, what also grinds my gears is all of the IWC going, oh, well, they did it first. Let me explain something to you. 6 years ago, it was the old fuck's decision to take NXT off of the network 3 weeks. Now aware that on Wednesday night, while you still had the streaming network for the WWE at $9.99, I missed that. Okay, guess what? AEW was coming in to take a swift kick in his crotch on cable on the one fucking network that for 18 years he did not have to ever worry about. But then you want to talk about counter programming. Let me talk to you. Let me explain this to you in simplest terms. It was Vince and now TKO's choice to turn around, you see, and counter program. What grinds my gears is, how's that fucking working out for you, jackass? The pay-per-view buys are still through the roof. They're still hitting 100 to 140K buys. We're not even beginning the analytics of the streaming platform with HBO Max. We haven't even gotten to that. So for a lot of you in the IWC that want this tribalism shit, what grinds my gears is shut the fuck up. Because a lot of you motherfucking punks were the ones that pissed and bitched and moaned for over 15 motherfucking years that you were getting sick of it. Oh no. Remember what I used to say back then when he took it over and turned it into Unicorn Rainbow Land? It went from black and gold to NXT 2.0. It looked like Vince jacked off a fucking unicorn and it squirted all over the goddamn place. Okay? The mere fact that you in the IWC, you know who you are. Didn't say everybody. This is what really grinds my gears most. The fact that you sit there and act like hypocrites. You wanted an alternative. You got one. And you want this in the bubble, only WWE faithful want them to fall, which would fuck the talent out of a job. Do you forget how much of a shit show that used to be? They said that about Ring of Honor in the beginning, and look how that came. They said that about TNA. Look where TNA is now, and TNA went through some really heavy, dark shit. Fuck you, Hulk Hogan, and fuck you, Dixie Carter. Oh, and I almost forgot. Fuck you, Vince Russo. With a rusty spoon. Nah, screw the rusty spoon. That would be an insult to the rusty spoon. We'll spare the spoon. The fact that you sit there and say this shit, exactly. This grinds my gears. You are not being careful what you wish for. Because if this happens, you caused it. You can sit there and say, oh, it was bad creative. No. That's a sliver of it. Know your fucking shit. I've watched this product for almost 4 decades, since I was a little kid. I have seen it all. And there are things I never thought I'd see. Like Brock Lesnar superplexing Big Show off the top, causing the ring to implode. Same thing with Mark Henry and Big Show, Braun Strowman, Big Show. I digress. There are certain stories that I didn't think would pay off, and they paid off magnificently. Exactly. KB brings a valid point. What grinds my gears the most is you'll still have ROH in some form, maybe. But TNA and working with WWE, you're fucked. The Indies, yes, the Indies get a shot. MLW flourishes. But look at the catch-22. That's what really grinds my gears the most. And here's the last thing. Daniel Garcia. Buffalo Boy. What happened? You put your balls in Marina Shafir's purse? Fellow Buffalo Boy. I hope you see this. I saw the promo you cut on Matt Menard, calling him a loser and shit. I get that. You're angry. You're frustrated. You have every right. But you joined the one group that you said you wanted to destroy because of what they did to Darby. they did to you and others of the roster. Dude, we're already back in the ball game with this bullshit. We got the title away from Mox. There's only one other issue that needs to be dealt with for this. Correct. With the reemergence of AEW, with AEW's emergence, it forced the old man to step it up. But back to my final point of this show and the program today. Daniel, you know, you really, really fucked up, Garcia. And you know, with everybody who's been OG day one watching, there's just certain things you don't do in my home. Piss in the wind, shit on the walls. You don't try to take my chair. And Daniel, you tried to take my chair. Uh-oh. Oh, shit. Did I get laid again last night, or was that the... I guess you just had to piss me off. Mm-hmm. He's right. KB's right. Daniel Garcia, you got 3 weeks. Because if you don't, well, it's been refurbished. It's been fixed. Daniel Garcia, October 26th is your deadline. You don't stop pissing me off, kid. Grind my gears will go on hold. And a blast from the past. I will turn on the power to maximum. And it will be the electric chair for you. Don't say I didn't warn you. Nekro, you got anything that grinded your gears you want to before we get out of here today?
Not wrestling related at all. But you know what really grinds my gears for like just all of 10 seconds? Fuck public transportation. I saw a woman the other day with her bare feet just on a bus fucking seat, and I wanted to die. They're just her bare, dusty ass, crusty ass fucking feet just on the seat in front of her, and I never wanted to die more than in that moment.
You ain't shit.
Lady, you gotta say
I hope the worst. I hope the worst for that woman. And I'm typically a nice person and I want everyone to be happy, but I hope the worst for that person.
That's just disgusting. Well, folks, I think that about wraps it up for this week. But before we get out of here, this came to me. There's a match I've been wanting to discuss. July 2011. Money in the Bank. I mean, it's the night that started to change everything. CM Punk, Jonathan Cena for the gold. And the shocking conclusion that would lead to the rebirth of the summer of CM Punk. That's going to be for our Analyze This segment here next week on the program. So, till then, do us that big favor. You know the rap sheet. Like, share, subscribe, stay notified. Telegram, Baby Wrestler, Google Plus, your sister's ass, the Pony Express, Screw FedEx, What Can Brown Do For You, and Bite Me Postal Service. Mr. Nekro, tell the good people at home where to find you and how to get in touch with you. If you so.
Nick Nekro on all social medias. Do not find me on Facebook. I don't want to know you that well. Twitch is Nick Nekro, but the O at the very end is a 0. Come watch me play some Silent Hill F. It is really scary. Come watch me shit myself. It's going to be a good time.
Well then. That sounds intriguing. You know me, Eric37 Joker, spell Joker with the number 0 instead of the letter O on all the socials. And like I said, Garcia, 3 weeks. 3 weeks to get your shit together, because we all remember how you felt when you left the Inner Circle jerk, aka the Jericho Anal Society. Do you really want to go through this again? I mean, Wheeler Yuta's asking.
I'm like, what do you say fuck me for?
And Wheeler Yuta. Yep. And to quote the infamous Bob Barker, control the pet population, have your pets spayed or neutered. KB giving me the one-liners. But if you missed Friday Night with the Pot Mob Men, hosted by Blackheart, check them out in the archives. If you missed Blackheart's Angels yesterday live, make sure you check them out as well. That's also, the replay is also up for both shows. Also, make sure you follow both OTTR Network and Hardcore Sports here, led by 2 great guys, respectfully, both our buddy Blackheart and Mitch. And folks, I know it's getting to be that time. We're less than 30 plus minutes away from kickoff. So for Nekro, for myself, this is the Wrestling Asylum. Tune in next week, kid. Memo to me. Don't see the therapist again after this meeting. This is not good. Danny Garcia is bringing him back. And that's only going to make things controversial. Which is what I like to do, but I promised you all I try to keep the makeup from happening, and unfortunately somebody's getting pissed off, and as you can see on my lips, I realize I did not get, but he's, oh boy. Anyway, Nekro, always a pleasure, sir. We'll be in touch.
Always.
Next week, 11 o'clock. What are we going to talk about? You got to tune in and find out. But one topic you already know. It's Money in the Bank 2011, the main event.
I got to tune in to find out.
No, you're going to be with me, Smarty Pants. But for all the fellow inmates and viewers of the show, tune in to find out. But you already know one topic next week. It's going to be CM Punk finally getting his one chance to hold the WWE Championship when he challenges John Cena at Money in the Bank. And the shocking moments that began to, well, you all know. So until then, enjoy today's football games, especially my boys this evening when they whoop. Well, sorry, Nick, if you're a Patriots fan, you know.
We suck now. It's all right.
Yes, you do. So go, Josh Allen.
We were spoiled, so it's
yes,
fine.
You were. But with that being said, enjoy today's NFL games. Until next Sunday, we're out of here. And remember, love one another. Take care of yourselves and each other. And if you're not down with that, well, we got 2 words for you.
Fuck you.
Suck it. Till next week, everybody. So long. Till next.